Okay, today we're going to take some quick notes on a review from our flower dissection earlier today on the parts of a flower. You do need to know these parts in order to understand how flowers reproduce, how plants reproduce, which was what we'll be learning tomorrow. All right, so let's first talk about the outside of the flower. The outside of the flower has two parts. The first part is the sepal. All right, which are the small leaves that protect the bud of the flower. So you can see those sepals right here on this flower that are budding, the small leaves, and then the flower coming out of the middle. The bud is the flower before it blooms. So it's the baby flower. The second part on the outside of the flower is the petals. Now the petals are that colorful structures on the outside of the flowers that attract pollinators. So petals come in all different colors, shapes, sizes, numbers. They're the pretty parts. Pollinators are any organisms that move pollen from one flower to another, from the anther of a flower to the stigma of a flower. So bees, humans, dogs, cats, butterflies, birds, hummingbirds, flies, anything that can pick up pollen from an anther and move it to a stigma is considered a pollinator. The wind is a pollinator. All right, so flowers come male and female. Usually a flower has both male and female parts, but sometimes you have male flowers and female flowers. So the male parts of a typical flower are the stamen. So that's the male part of the flower, and its job is to create pollen. So your stamens are right here. Here's an example of a stamen. The stamen has two parts. It has the anther, the very top, which is where the pollen forms, and the filament, which is what holds the stamen up so that pollinators can reach it. If it was way down in the center of the flower, a pollinator wouldn't be able to reach it and no pollen would be spread. So here's a lily right here, and we have a stamen with anthers covered in pollen and filaments. Those are the male parts of the flower. The female parts of the flower are the pistil. So it's usually in the very center of the flower right here. There's usually only one, sometimes more than one, but usually only one in the flower. So the pistil is the female part of the flower. Its job is to create the egg. All right. The stigma is the very top of the pistil. It's sticky in order for the pollen to catch. So if the pollen is blown by the wind or if it's on the leg of an insect, the sticky top of the stigma grabs the pollen and it holds on tight, kind of like a glue. All right. The style is this middle part here that is holding up the stigma so that it is on the very top of the flower, so it's easy for it to catch pollen, and the ovary is the very bottom where the egg is held. All right. The outside of the ovary right here will eventually become the fruit if it is a fruit-bearing plant. So the apple that you eat is the outside ovary, and the inside would be the apple seeds. So here all the petals have been taken off, so we have our stigma to catch pollen, our style to hold our stigma up, and the ovary, and all the petals would normally be around this. All right. I do believe that is all. Thank you very much for listening. Please remember all the different parts of the flower because we're going to talk tomorrow about how pollination actually occurs, how a plant actually reproduces and makes seeds. Thank you so much. Have a great day.